What's going on, y'all? It's your boy Swoop TCG, and we're out here with that fire that eat that sauce once again, guys. You guys been asking for it, and I have delivered. Primite Fiendsmith. All right, guys, this deck, the recursion, yo, the consistency. I love this deck. I love this deck. It is beautiful. You know, it's not one of my own personal creations, you know, but it is a very strong deck, and I got a slightly creative spin to it. But I mean, overall, it's Primite Fiendsmith. You know, it's pretty simple, pretty self-explanatory. The deck is just so powerful, and you just obliterate your opponent with control and hand traps, and you just outgrind them, outwin all day, every day. So I love this deck so much. It is so phenomenal, and I can't wait to show this to you. I will be dropping a combo guide after this so you guys can see the lines with the Lacrima. Now that we got this post-ban list, this deck doesn't break. It doesn't. You know, the amount of times I've had extra Light Fiends in hand on field, and I could have extended further and gone into a seat. This deck crazy now. This deck is dumb now. Yo, so I'm excited to show you guys. This is the proper way to build Primite Fiendsmith, all right? I don't care what other builds are out there. This is the only way to build Primite Fiendsmith. The only thing that is the exception is gonna be your side deck. Everybody has their own siding preference. People like certain tech cards over others. They're more confident with certain cards over others. So the side deck is always going to be independent on the player and how they like to play the game. Maybe they're more aggro, maybe they're more, you know, control focus, you know, they're mid-range, whatever. So the extra deck kind of reflects your play style a little bit. So that being the case, you guys can always do changes to your extra deck as needed. I'm giving you what I believe is the best option going into the current format with the new ban list. And this deck answers all the top decks, and it is a sleeper. It is a sleeper. It's the best Fiendsmith build, period. There is no discussion on this. There's no debate on this. The Primite Fiendsmith is now the best Fiendsmith build because the engines just go together. And I mean, you're always gonna have both engines. Like, it always goes, like, Primite can get into Fiendsmith still because of our Light Fiend normal monsters. Like, I never use Moon ever in the deck. You know, I top 8 a case tournament with this deck, but without Lacrima, and there's a lot of times if I had Lacrima, I probably would have won the whole case tournament, actually multiple times, because there's times I had the extra fiends, I got the Shreks in grave, you know, I stop them, I need extra push, like, and that Lacrima would have done it. But now that we got the G back, I'm very happy. We better get a holo printing of this dude. Very excited. But let's go ahead and jump on in. But before we do that, I need to ask y'all, did y'all get your steps in today? Yo, did y'all walk outside? Guys, we need to stay active out here, boys, because we're not just bettering ourselves mentally. We are bettering ourselves physically, guys. So get up, get active. You know, take their phone with you, all right? You know, this video is coming out. You know, I'm dropping the heat daily, all right? So get out there, watch the video, go for a walk, man. Just get your steps in, get some fresh air, man. The fresh air is just gonna do you wonders, man. You get the blood circulating, you know, you're helping your cardiovascular system, you're, you know, helping your metabolism process all, that's helping your digestion too. That's another thing, guys. I mean, all around it is gonna better you physically, and you can even lose some weight, you know, just being a little more active than you already were. Maybe you weren't doing walks, you know, but now you're doing walks. All of a sudden you're gonna notice you're gonna start losing weight because you're burning more calories doing walks, you know. So get out there, stay active. And if you're my soulies, yo, if you just finished the gym, bro, you better not skip your cardio, all right? That is key, boys, all right? So go ahead and hop on that treadmill, hop on that Stairmaster, put the video on. Once you finish the video, you're done. That's it. Your cardio is done, man. It is that easy. You can lock into a video. Next thing you know, the video's over, your cardio is over. It's just like that. It's easy, guys. Like, I promise you, it's easy, man. So make sure you guys take care of yourselves physically too, all right? But let's go ahead and jump on in to this Fiendsmith Primite deck build. All right, boys, you know how we do it. We're gonna start off with the engines, then we'll go into non-engine, extra deck, and then side deck. So first up, we will go over the Primite engine. For our vanillas, we are running 2 copies of Dippity. So this is going to be a controversial thing here, guys. Usually you would have a level 6 fiend, so you can go into Caesar plays. But with this version of the deck, right, we have Lacrima. We want to have more light fiends. The only other light fiend is going to be like a level 1. That does nothing. Having an extra copy of Dippity helps, because you'll see why when we get into the extra deck.
and I'll just tell you guys right now, it's the level 4. All right, we want level 4 so we can go into Baguska. This Baguska kills literally every deck this format. It's just an absolute nuisance to deal with. K9 players have to overextend to get into SP to get rid of it. Same thing with Yummy players, you have to do overextend to get into it. So being able to go into Baguska is absolutely huge, and we want Light Fiends because now that we have Lacrima, Track is no longer a dead card in our hand, but if we put in a Summon Skull or a Beast of Talor or you know, an Ushioni for our level 6, it's a dark and it's a fiend, but it doesn't get us into our Fiendsmith line. So I wanted 2 Light Fiends to help out with the Fiendsmith lines and be able to get the track, and we also have to play 2 vanillas in order to utilize our fusion properly, because we are playing the fusion. So 2 Dippities. We're already jumping straight into the spice for you guys, but you want to play 2 Dippities. Please Konami, please Konami. If anybody from Konami is watching this, please give me a freaking Starlight or an ultimate rare Dippity. Look at this guy. Look at this guy. That's too cute, guys. Why is this guy so cute? It's just a cute little dude in a bottle. All right. Next up, for our spells, we are playing the 1 copy of Primite Fusion, guys. So this can be used to bring out our fusion monster. This brings out our boss monster, and I will go into the combo guides on how you bring him out and utilizing this later, but I just want you to know we are main decking this because Yummy is going to probably be 50% of the meta coming up, and our boss monster outs Yummy hard, really hard. All right. Next up, we are playing 2 copies of Drill Beam. All right, so Drill Beam is just, obviously it's Drill Beam. This card is absolutely cracked, and 2 copies always comes up. Now, some people might be like, oh, I only want to play 1 copy of Drill Beam since I'm playing the Primite Fusion. And that's wrong, all right? Drill Beam always comes up, the 2nd copy always comes up. The recursion on this card is just absolutely ridiculous and annoying to deal with. The Fusion, the Primite Fusion is one of the cards that we would side out if we're not going up against Yummy. If we're not going up against Yummy, we don't really need the Primite Fusion. I mean, you could in theory play it, but it's kind of niche in those situations, so we can easily side this card out. But we are expecting to play Yummy. It is okay against other builds, but for the most part, we want to at least have 1 copy in case we run into Yummy, because this card just cooks Yummy. Drill Beam's just Drill Beam and a recur, so always play 2 copies of Drill Beam. 3 copies of Lordly Load, guys. Not much to say here. This is probably the best starter. Love Lordly Load. Honestly, well, Ether Barrel's honestly the best starter, but Lordly Load's fucking awesome, guys. So we are maximizing our 1-card starters naturally, which brings us to our last bit of the Primite engine, 3 copies of Barrel. Barrel's effect that most people don't utilize is you activate Barrel's effect, attributing itself to send a normal monster to the graveyard. That is how you get your fusion out. All right, so that's how you utilize the fusion. So I will go over it in the combo guide, but essentially you do that. Barrel is going to go ahead and set the Primite Fusion, where you set the load and then add the Primite Fusion to hand, whatever it may be, however you got to it. But eventually you add this to hand, you use his effect to dump it, and then you summon out the Ether Barrel Dragon. So that way you can have at least link 1s and level 1 negates, and the way you do that is by using, again, your Lordly Load to summon out another normal monster to your side of the field. And that's pretty fire because you can just go ahead and link that normal monster off, even though you can't use the effects, but you can go into Requiem and then have that on there, and you already have like ridiculous follow-up. I'll show you guys inside the combo guide on how that exactly works, but that is it for the Primite engine. Next up for the Fiendsmith, guys, this is pretty standard. Fiendsmith is Fiendsmith. I don't think we need to go over that too much, but you guys can look at the shiny QCRs. Still to this day, this is the best normal summon Konami's ever created, and that is not a lie. It doesn't matter what you do to this card. This card is always just full combo. You activate its effect to dump, you stop that, that's cool, you link it off, and you get into Requiem. If you ask the Requiem, well, now you have a Lacrima and Requiem engraved to go into Trap. So this card, it literally needs 3 interruptions for you to stop this, so it's always going to give you at least 1 interruption. So this card is the best card in the game. Like, this is the best normal summon in the game, guys. So highly slept on card. I'll always say that. 3 copies of Engraver. Not much to say here. It's engraver. We maximize this out as much as possible. 1-card starters all day, every day. 3 copies of Fiendsmith Tracked. Tracked is tracked, guys. We want to maximize tracked out, especially now that we have Lacrima. Tracked is never dead. Adding the additional tracks, having tracks in graveyard, you'll always have a recursion of Light Fiends thanks to the Primite engine and thanks to just the Fiendsmith engine in general, so you're always getting the Lacrima. 1 copy of Lurry and 1 copy of Paradise. Not much to say here. Paradise is the GOAT. Should have been a secret rare in the set, but hey. Next up, for the non-engine, pretty self-explanatory. Playing 3 copies of Fualos. We are playing a small bestial package. We want to play a small bestial package purely because, you know, it's a level 6 dark, so we just get straight into a Chaos Angel if need be. Plus, bestials are honestly not that bad right now, just because it can hard out a lot of things. Obviously, Baldrake plus a nib is just absolutely crazy against Yummy, so like it's just a phenomenal way. And then obviously Mag doesn't just search us like additional bestials, it also searches us our other key piece of our engine, which is our Ether Barrel. So this gets us into engine, and it's a hand trap, crazy hand trap, and you know, so you want to at least play just 3 copies. It is very standard, very mandatory for us to play this. It just allows extra extension, allows extra disruption, and gives us those extra bodies for our field to whether we go into Chaos Angel or we use those bodies to link climb, and then we get additional effects like Druid. So I think it's very standard, and it should be main decked all day, every day right now, especially in this format. Next up, we are playing the Trinity. 1 talent, 1 called by, 1 cross out. Sorry, I don't have my shiny cards right now. They're all inside my Azamina build because that is going to be the deck I'm going to run to the first regional. This most likely will be the second deck I use. But this is pretty self-explanatory, guys. All these cards just absolutely cook, and we just want extra power going first. And I mean, these cards are just really cracked. I mean, it's just really cracked. So I mean, just play these cards. You don't need to side them with how much non-engine we're running, how much 1-card starters we're running. You know, we can go ahead and afford to play the Trinity and not have to side it. Next up, 3 copies of Ash. Pretty self-explanatory. I say it all the time, but even for the new viewers, Ash is still the best hand trap. It is the best defensive and offensive hand trap right now in the game, just because of the Charmies running around, and then just a lot of things that need to be stopped with Ash. So this card is just phenomenal. Absolutely have to play it. That brings us with the next God tier trap. Imperm not activating in hand is pretty phenomenal, especially with random canine builds that are around right now. Target negation is just absolutely huge, so Imperm is going to be just a godsend in a lot of matchups. It's always going to be, these 6 are always going to be inside your decks next to Fuwa, so those 9. And then obviously we always play the rock, right? Everybody says rock is not a rock format, it's a rock format. When it's a rock format, it's a rock format. It's always rock format, all right? Nib's always nib, Nib's always crazy. People always play into it. It's very hard for them not to play into it. The only people that don't play into it is Draco Tail, and that's absolutely fine. When we play Draco Tail, we side out, but literally every other deck in the game can get hit with Nib, and it'll just cook them most likely, especially if you follow it up with like a Nib Imperm or a Nib Ash or a Nib Baldrake or a Nib Druid Sworn. Like, Nib with anything literally just cooks pretty much every matchup, so maximize on that. And then when you play Draco Tail, you just obviously side out the Nibs because they're useless. Alright guys, now we'll go on to the extra deck. This is where it gets spicy. We are on 2 copies of Baguska. Guys, I can't tell you how many times I have play tested this deck to the ground, and during BSK9 they would overextend and just to get into an SP and remove it, and then they have to end their turn and go into my turn. And if you made a second Baguska, they're done. They're cooked. It's over. Like, so like there's a lot of times where a second Baguska can come up, and it is just easy to lock your opponent out of the game. So Having 2 Baguskas, nobody ever expects a second Baguska, but when this thing drops, they already overextended, they already wasted resources, and now you just outgrind them with Fiendsmith. You already burned all their resources, then you go into Zeus and it's just GG's chat. So, absolutely mandatory. One copy of DDD, not much to say here, it's DDD. One copy of Tython. One copy of Chaos Angel is Chaos Angel, guys, so not much to say here. You're playing level 6s and level 4s that are light and dark. You play this card all day, every day. 2 copies of Fiendsmith Requiem, absolutely mandatory. If you're playing any kind of Fiendsmith build, you always play 2 Requiem. Don't ever change that. You will always need 2 Requiem. 2 Requiem always comes up. 1 copy of Sequence. Still haven't got my Ultra Rare yet. 1 copy of Agmunde. Shout out to the Secret Yoke. Konami did a phenomenal job on these 10s, bro. I'm not gonna lie. I mean, I wish it was a Starlight, but hey, we can't all get what we want, you know what I'm saying? But it still looks pretty phenomenal. 1 copy of Ether Barrel. Guys, do not judge me. I literally could not find the Ether Barrel inside my bulk. I need to get a Starlight one anyways. So I just threw in the copy for you guys. This is just the Primite Dragon for the Fusion. So I just threw in a proxy just so you guys know. We do play the Fusion. I just can't find mine inside my bulk. I got like 80 10s. I need to go through it. I tried going through it. I couldn't find it. And I'm pretty sure I just went past it. But I need to get a Starlight one anyways because this card's absolutely cracked this format. If you don't have it, pick it up. Starlight is literally like 20 bucks right now. So that's actually pretty cheap for a Starlight. And a core set. Necroquip, still don't have the Starlight. I thought it was going to drop more. I'm not convinced on getting it yet, but I do want it because Necroquip just looks fire. But the Ultra Rare would do. But obviously Necroquip is just a phenomenal card, guys. We like to get the additional draw. You always want to use Necroquip's effect to draw because it just helps you out so much and give you more non-engine, and that's what this deck's all about. 1 copy of Fiendsmith Lacrima, the GOAT himself, finally back off the list. Oh, Konami, I cannot believe you didn't reprint this dude in 10. We still have the common, but he's still the GOAT. 2 copies of Fiendsmith Desiree. Desiree, you want to have 2 copies. I can't tell you how many times I've had a Desiree on board and then I sent Trap and then I was like, oh shit, I don't have a second copy of Desiree. So having 2 Desirees is always important because those situations where you can send a Trap and have a Desiree on board do come up quite a bit. So just go ahead and play 2 copies of Desiree, it doesn't hurt. And then last but not least, 1 Rex Tremende. Rex Tremende is now the GOAT. Now that we have our GOAT back, it is a lot easier to get into this. There's a lot of OTK lines, there's a lot of crazy boards you can end on now because now Tract isn't just some dumbass card inside your graveyard. Being able to get into this being able to recycle more, then you can go into this. It's just a lot of lines to go through. I'll go over all that inside the combo video, but now we can finally play this guy. This guy's finally good. This guy's absolutely cracked. This Fiendsmith's own Liger Dancer, so it's just absolutely a godsend card. And that will do it for the extra deck. Next up will be the side deck. For my side deck, I decided to go with 3 copies of Solemn Strike for more push going first, because we do play a lot of hand traps, so naturally with this build you want to side more towards going first because we have so many hand traps. I mean, we're like 20 hand traps. So next up, 2 copies of Ghost Spell. Ghost Spell just answers a lot this format. I honestly am almost convinced to play it at 3, but I just like to have a variety of hand traps, so 2 copies is fine for now. Naturally, when you go into Draco Tail, this is obviously the first thing you put in to replace your nibs. 3 copies of Perulia. Guys, we don't know if Perulia is bad yet. We got to test the format out. For right now, I believe Perulia is still a side deck worthy card for some matchups. We're going to see how the meta plays out, how it shakes out. We got our first YCS literally the week the set drops, so we can game plan from there on how we want to adjust our side. But for right now, I'm keeping in the 3 Perulia in the side. Next up, 3 copies of Droll. Droll definitely needs to be in the side, if not main decked. Mitsu's still full power, guys. Ryzel Fiendsmith is going to be still around. There's a lot of decks that auto lose to Droll, and there's a lot of new decks that auto lose to Droll. So we want to make sure we have an answer for those powerful decks that just like to search and search and search and add half their deck to their hand in like 5 seconds. So Droll's a godsend. We need to keep this card in at all times. So for right now, I think it's absolutely fine for us to go ahead and side deck this card and just put it in match dependent. But it definitely needs to be in the side. And that's on any build. I think this is the only 3 cards in your side deck I would not change at all. You know, just like we used to play Lancia all the time when Malice was around, and we played Droll, but Droll was mainly in the main deck when Ryzel was around. But either way, this needs to be in your side deck. This is the 1/3 of it that needs to be in your side deck. And then me personally, I am an absolute sucker for the thrust package. So 3 thrust and 1 black coat. Black coat is literally a god card. I can't say this enough. Guys, you set black coat, activate black coat, call Snatchy, it's GG's. They can't do anything. They literally can't do anything. It shuts down their whole entire deck. Without Snatchy, they can't do anything. I mean, it's pathetic. Whatever you have on the board is just going to destroy them instantly. Same thing when you go up against Draco Tail. You go activate Black Coat, you call Arthurion. What are they going to do? Maybe they make a mid fusion, but okay, who cares? You have so many layers to protect yourself. Like, you can just easily negate it or destroy it, and then you have plenty of follow-up to just absolutely destroy them the next turn. You get no recursion when they can't summon Arthalion. So Black Coat is an absolute godsend. It OTKs literally the 2 best decks right now of this format, which will be Draco Tail and Yummy. So absolute godsend of a card. And that is it for the deck profile, guys. Peace.
Alright, y'all, I hope you guys enjoyed the Fiendsmith Primite build that I brought to you guys. This deck is very powerful, and please, I would not change a single card inside your main deck, guys. Like I said, the side deck is very flexible towards your playstyle, but the way I built this main deck is to answer whether you're going first or second, and it can answer any matchup that you're going up against, alright? So that is why you play this how it is. Just trust me, play it how it is, alright? Don't play with the ratios on it. This is perfect. It is the perfect build. You get the perfect mix of engine, you get the perfect mix of non-engine, and you can shut down your opponent very easily. If you do, another thing, your interactions, guys. Interactions are key, all right? So make sure you're doing proper interactions. You know, before you go into tournaments, guys, make sure you're looking up the decks you know you're going up against. You know that if you're going to a regional, right, we're going to see Yummy, we're going to see Draco Tail, we're going to see Canine variants, all right? So make sure you're doing your research and know the good choke points to do your best to have those interactions. Naturally, everybody could have extenders, or people could just flat out brick. You never know, but the key thing is that you make sure that you do utilize your interactions as best as possible, all right? So that being said, if you guys want interaction, guys, if you guys need me to help you with interactions on where to hand trap, the best times to utilize your hand trap, so on and so forth, let me know in the comments, guys. I'll be happy to help you out and do that. I was thinking about actually doing a PowerPoint just to show you guys like siding patterns on certain decks, like the popular Canine Azamine I created. A lot of people asked me about siding patterns on that, so I think I might go on that for individual matchups so you guys kind of understand like the thought process behind it. But if you guys are wondering about interactions and how to utilize the hand traps that we play inside our build, then just let me know that. Just hit me in the comments, let me know what you guys think that you want to see as far as those interactions go. And I can do a PowerPoint and pull that up so you guys can see where to interact with these decks and how to go about it. But guys, we are almost at 500 subscribers. 500 subscribers, all right? So that is my first key for the giveaway, guys. And like I said, guys, like, just let me know. Let me know what y'all want for the giveaway, all right? Because I'm down to do a giveaway. We get up to 500 subscribers, man, that'd be awesome. You know, we keep growing this community, we keep getting creative together, we keep bringing more people in, we keep chit-chatting, we keep building these awesome decks that can combat meta. And I love it. I love everybody getting together, commenting together, giving their feedback, giving their takes. You know, this is a learning process. You know, we avoid all those dumbass paywalls all these like wannabe YouTubers are doing, man. And no offense to the YouTubers, other YouTubers out there, but this is part of the reason why I made this channel, man. Because like I just want to inspire people physically, and at the same time, get creative, because I'm a creative ass guy. Like, I love creating unique builds. I love being competitive. I'm very competitive. So making a unique build that's my own, that I can claim as my own, and being able to win with that just seems is awesome. And working with you guys, learning from you guys, seeing other people's creativity, it inspires me. It inspires me to be more creative and try different tech options. So I love talking with you guys. I love seeing your tech options. So keep hitting in the comments, guys, because that's how we continue to grow creatively, is because creatively. I don't even think that's a word, yo. But I ain't editing it. I ain't editing it out. Yo, listen, I only do one take. I don't do that, you know. I do all the edits myself, guys. So, you know, right now. So I hope you guys like my little like cube, little flashy thing. Yeah, I just learned that. Yo. But hey, man, listen. Anyways, guys, like, the creativity all of us are giving is just feeding off each other, and, you know, we're coming up with unique ideas, and I love that. And that's what this community is all about. So once we get to that 500 subscriber mark, guys, I will do a giveaway, whatever you guys think would be the best option, whether it's your favorite Starlight, or, you know, your favorite, or maybe you need a deck core, you know. Let me know what you guys think, man, because I got extra deck core. I got every better deck core inside my binder right now. Like, I'm ready to go, because, you know, I love testing decks. I love trying different decks. I love learning the deck, because learning the deck helps you understand how to beat the deck, you know. So huge fan of that. So if you guys need cores, let me know. You know, let me know if that's what we should do for the 500 subscribers giveaway. And I'm absolutely down to do that. And I'll also be making a Discord too, so we can all chit chat together. You know, it doesn't have to just all be in the comments inside the YouTube channel. I like having your guys' comments in the YouTube channel, mainly because when other people view it, you know, people are newer to the channel, they're also seeing that we're working together. You know, they're seeing that we're brainstorming together, we're working together like cohesively, and we're coming up with unique ideas. You know, nobody's shooting down anybody's ideas. Everybody's like, you know what, that's actually a valid idea. We need to test this out. You know, we need to try this idea. So it's very important that everybody understands that, you know, we're here to work together as a community to better ourselves, you know, with our creativity, you know. And at the end of the day, not just bettering ourselves mentally, but, you know, physically. That's what this whole TCG team's all about, guys. So, you know what, make sure you guys get out there. If you got friends that think you would join the channel, tell them to hop on in, tell them to subscribe, man. We got content for everybody. I do a lot of hot takes, a lot of hot decks. You know, a lot of people have been wanting this deck. A lot of people want my pure Azamina deck. A lot of people want my canine Azamina deck. You know, we got a lot of cool things coming up. And by the way, guys, a little sneak peek, all right? I have a funny reel idea that I'm gonna be doing here, and it involves this guy right here. Right? This dude right here, he's gonna be a part of some Yu-Gi-Oh! Reels. We're gonna make him a duelist, all right? So, fun fact, sneak preview for my Fiendsmith duelist right here. You guys made it to this far in the video. We're gonna have some funny reels with my extended back dog. So stay tuned for that. It's gonna be awesome, guys. I can't wait to share these videos with you. I can't wait to keep growing with you guys. And I appreciate all the love and support. Y'all stay blessed.